Welcome to the Grind Force Gaming channel. I'm JB, and I'm here with my boys Falcon and Datscat. We're here to over the Akuma first impressions. What do you guys think so far? He seems pretty BA, right? He's pretty strong. I mean, not at my A level right now, but I've been using him in the trials. It's like max level standing, and he seems insane. What have you guys been seeing so far? Have you guys? What did you guys get actually? Let's go over that. I only got one shard out of my 50, so I've got him at A. You got one as well,
One.
I
Falcon.
got
One.
3 copies.
You got
What?
three.
My first 10 pulls, I got 1 copy each time.
Oh my
I feel pretty
gosh.
fortunate.
Oh, I'm sure that just PO'd a bunch of people who spent thousands trying to get him.
Right.
But
Yeah. He is a powerhouse. There's no question. He's going to be so hard to obtain that most of us won't get to enjoy him for probably quite a while.
yeah,
But yeah, he is a DPS monster.
Man. Reading his skills, it's a little easy to get lost in all of the things that he is doing. But everything that he is doing is increasing damage.
yeah,
Like, that's what he does.
yeah. He is
Stacks
just
on
stacking
stacks.
damage on damage, isn't he?
Yeah, and has some lifesteal in there, which gives an assassin some really much needed survivability. I love the lifesteal built in.
That's always nice, right? With any character, survivability is what you need. If you're dead, you're not doing damage, so you need to live. Let's go over his moves then, right now, and what combos are you going to use with them? For me, I'm seeing Super Combo 2. I'm not sure who I'm pairing him with exactly, though. What do you guys think? You doing the same thing, Datscat?
Yeah, I think if you're gonna use him, you have to use him.
Mm-hmm.
You need to use his super, and which means that you can't use his combo one, which is fine because you really want to be using the combo two, because both of those things start using his mechanic, the Conqueror, um, which then becomes extreme. And once you reach these two things, once you reach extreme, then a whole bunch of stuff starts happening with his damage stacking, and a whole bunch of stuff starts happening with like extra skills and stuff, and we'll go into that in a little more detail in just a little bit. But um I think you need, if you're going to be using them, you have to be using the super and the combo 2, which is also inflicting burn. So somebody like Fashion Blanca is like his best friend, um and somebody like Dulcine is also a really good match for Akuma. And it it was really cool when he came out and I was looking at his skills that he is a 1 and 2 combo slot skill player, which really made me love him just a little bit more, um, as far as a fighter goes.
So, do you see him running the one though? The one
No.
combo? Okay. So he's a super combo 2, right?
I think unless there's something that we aren't seeing yet, that because we haven't seen it in action enough. But otherwise, yeah, I don't see the combo one ever taking precedence over the combo two.
Right. And not right now, right? So there could be new characters that come out later on that they take over the super combo 2 spot, and then you run with, Akuma's combo 1. So I mean, he's
Honestly,
pretty
even
awesome.
there,
He's
even
going to be an
there, in
awesome
most cases,
character.
I think you'd go to the super. I don't even know if you'd go to if there's ever any situation I'd use the one based on what we're seeing here. Again,
Okay.
who knows? But based on what we're seeing here, it's super and combo two or some variation of one of those. I don't see the combo one happening for him really.
No, it's like the combo 1 is just a different version of the super, only it has burn damage and has way less overall damage. So why would you ever not use the super? And that's kind of the point. If you're going to be using Akuma, I think you're going to be using Akuma, and
Yeah.
that's going to be like what you build the rest of the squad around. So how do I keep him alive? Why am I using him? Probably because I need to nuke a Kami or a Combat Guile or somebody that's in the back of the enemy team. Um, and that's why Fashion Blanca with him is just so nuts. because Fashion Blanca also can attack that back line
Yep.
and does AoE flame damage, and all of these things just are married together.
Yeah,
It's really interesting.
and Akuma is all about building up the stacks, right? So we're building up Conquer, and we're building up extreme stacks. And the extreme stacks go into this Raging Demon move, Combo 2, which then turns into the wildly named Shinshan Goku Satsu.
That's the
Mm.
one.
Yeah, I got it down.
Oh, you don't say.
Yeah. So once you build up 3 stacks of extreme, and then you do the Combo 2 move, you do it essentially this ultra Combo 2, right? And it is just crazy. I was using him in the trial, a trial with him, right? Max level characters, and as soon as you pull that one off, people are just wiped out. I mean, he's almost wiping out people anyway, but with that extra burst damage, and you switch your damage type. So if you ever, I don't know, if you got people defending against fire, right? You switch to, what is it? Is it spirit damage?
Soul
damage, right?
which is not advantaged or disadvantaged by the other factions.
Yeah.
It's pure.
And it just takes him down. It takes him down. Have you guys messed around with that at all?
Within the trials
or anywhere?
Well, I was trying, because the trials you have to use the fighters that they recommend for you, right? I was trying them in the inverse world with just 1 or 2 debuffs on, just to get the squads that I wanted to run out there, which would be Fashion Blanca, Dulcime, and M Bison is what I was doing. And even at an A, he was doing pretty good.
Was he?
Like, okay, so all of those other fighters I listed are SSS for me, and as an A, he was getting MVP. Like, what is going on?
Yeah, it's
So many
impressive,
things. That's
right?
the answer.
Yeah.
So many things are going on.
Yeah.
Incredible.
There's a lot. I also like his. It's kind of a mix of passive plus his stacking abilities, right? So his stacking conquer, you're increasing your combo 2, or you're increasing skill damage by 40%, and it stacks up to 3 times, right? So you've got 120% damage there. Mm-hmm. But then as he loses a stack, he's also shooting out is it a Hadoken?
Yeah.
He's shooting out a fireball that does over 300% damage each time. So he's just damage after damage after damage. It doesn't stop.
It's kind of interesting because it's kind of like Gore Ken, where you don't have to put his combos in slots, right? He just goes off. So his passive, which is another reason why you would never use the combo 1, because the combo 1 is the Hadoken, and his passive is already doing the Hadoken.
Right.
So, you would never want to have that out there. He's just, at that point, not inflicting burn damage on his super, but who cares? Like, like, oh, a little damage over time. No, how about massive damage now?
Yeah.
Like, let's go, right?
Yeah, he's pretty crazy. Falcon, what have you been seeing with him, I guess? Is there anything you're excited for? You got him at A+, so I don't know if he's usable yet, but
I have him at A+. It would be fun to get him to at least S, if I could get just one more copy before the event ends. Because I feel like as strong as he is, he's probably viable, at least to some degree, even in the other game modes. So that would be interesting, and I would like to see that happen, but we'll see how the draws go. I know people have been getting really unlucky in there as well.
right.
It's definitely, man, it's all about those stacks. And basically, those combo 2s. Once everything he has is designed to keep these rolling. So once you get into his fighting spirit, and then especially his vehicle abilities, where just three vehicles. Now he's got 3 extreme, which is his the second stack, like the higher one. He starts off with that, so he's doing his huge Shin Shun Zetsu, whatever it is, this
Mhm.
huge combo 2 version of it right out the gate. And all of the things that you upgrade are constantly adding that, so that it's always setting moves off. He's like Mad Ryu on cocaine.
Right. It's incredible.
Yeah. So what do you guys think about, I don't know, his release? I know for me, I'm free to play in these types of games, maybe light spending, so I'm not going to spend on this, especially when I see that people are spending thousands, right? And still maybe not getting them. I think that is a little ridiculous. If you're spending the money, I feel like you should probably get something out of it. Although for the free to play players or low spenders, it does make the game more competitive because it's all chance whether or not people are going to get them or not. But what do you
Well,
think? How did it go over for you?
here's what I'll say about it is, and this is at the end of the day, the developer is here to make money,
Yeah,
and
sure.
as long as there are people out there who are willing to drop tens of thousands of dollars on the game, the developer doesn't really have much motivation to make these things more obtainable because they're getting their money. So I
Mm-hmm.
guess I can't tell anyone how to spend their money, but in a perfect world, if we did not have people spending tens of thousands of dollars, then the developer would be forced to make decisions that better the gameplay instead of bettering their pockets.
Sure.
It basically, again, it's what you do with your money is totally up to you. But Akuma, regardless of how you feel about all that, Akuma trying to spend money on him is not worth it at this time. You could spend $50 and get a few divinations, and maybe you'd get a couple copies of M Bison, and you would be better for it at this stage in the game, because grinding up your Akuma is going to take a very long time, even if you do spend money.
Yeah, essentially it's a slot machine, right? You're going to the casino to see if you can get them, and you're probably spending as much as some people at down in Vegas, right? So it is kind of crazy what's going on right now, but it's also kind of fun.
Yeah, and honestly, if you kind of strip all of these conqueror stacks and extreme stacks and all the damage, he's an assassin, right?
Yeah.
So his role is to attack that back line. And there are other characters that do that really well. Like Sea Viper, for example, flame faction, doing that flame damage, attacking that back line, and and not this is an Akuma video, not a Sea Viper video,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Sea Viper also does thunder damage, so you can slot her into other teams and stuff. Where Akuma, you can pretty much put Akuma anywhere, and he's just going to be a powerhouse. Um, but yeah, that it's not worth the money. Like,
That's a nice recommendation though, as someone to do fill a similar slot.
right?
Sea Viper
Yeah.
is interesting.
Oh,
Steve
and
Viper,
she's
in
top
fact, I
tier.
would,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I
I mean,
was
people love
just to
her.
say, she has gotten she gets better and better as we keep playing the game. I
Mm-hmm.
think that maybe it's one of these things like Mad Ryu, as we're getting further in the game, feels like he's transitioning out of the meta
Yep.
once you reach this mid late game.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, I think that who were we just talking about? I'm losing my train of
Sea
Sea
thought.
Viper,
Viper,
man.
but
Steve Viper.
it, it
I've actually started throwing her into my lineups even at SS and had some success. She's gotten me through some campaign nodes because of that ability to attack the back line.
Yeah, while we're
Right.
while we're in this M Bison front line, right, stage, anyone who's attacking the back line is definitely going to help out.
Even
And this
Guy has some viability
Mm-hmm.
here.
And guy
uh
speed, but
I brought that up in a previous video that we had done with Nova about how Guy has that unique mechanic. And anytime a character has a unique mechanic, there is a role for them. It just might not be part of your investment priority strategy, right? Like I don't know if I'd prioritize an assassin who does stuff like this. However, every now and then you're gonna run into a Cammy in the campaign node. You're gonna run into a combat guile. You're gonna run into these characters that you need to take out now. and
yeah,
and having a super built assassin
Akuma.
having an Akuma, well,
Or
goodness
someone else
gracious.
like him, yeah.
But that's the point is like Guy doesn't do a whole lot of other stuff, where Sea Viper is doing a whole lot of other things. And I think as far as an assassin, Sea Viper eclipses Guy. Um,
Oh
plus
yeah,
that with those fire teams, like there are way better wind characters to put in other than Guy. And however, with the fire characters, like there are only a couple that I would recommend, and Sea Viper, Dulcim, those are the top of the list. Other than that, like Fei Long maybe. Who
But
else
like
would
we
you
were
put in,
talking
do you
about
think?
before the video started, we were talking about how late in the game we're gonna have multi-team battles as we're going through these challenge mode nodes. We're gonna have instances where we use up our top team, and then we still have to use 4 new characters and maybe a third team as we get further in. We're gonna need multiple characters filling those niche slots so that we have a versatile lineup.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And
it's something
Guy's
we
gonna
have to
fill
remember,
that
right?
role. What's that?
We've got to build. You got to build for the future too. So remember that it starts to go to multi-team in these campaigns. So you need more than just your top 4.
Or even just thinking about, the wind tower. In order to progress in the wind tower specifically, you're going to want Guy to be able to slot it in, to be able to slot Guy in there occasionally, because you're going to run into some huge backliners that you need to take out, and Guy is your wind faction guy to do that.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And like the lightning faction has a bit more AOE to it, but they don't really like. I can't think of a lightning assassin. I can't think of a light. Who's the lightning assassin?
I mean, you could kind of think of Mad
I
Ryu
think,
that way.
yeah, that's who I would think of. I mean, he's gonna be your damage dealer. However, Mad Ryu is just a frontline stalker, right? Like he's gonna take out the front. But if it's an M Bison, if you're playing arena, it's not really helping you.
And I think that that's also really uh important to point out is that Akuma is a direct counter to this M Bison meta
Right.
that we find ourselves in. And I think that that was part of the release logic by the devs. They, they're offering a way past Bison, and
Yeah, exactly.
there were a couple campaign nodes where um, that I had struggled on because of an M Bison. Um, and I didn't have a built-up assassin at that point, and I had to get through it by playing the mission a whole lot of times and doing a lot of Zangief interrupts. Um, where if I had had that assassin flame team with a Sea Viper or even a Fashion Blanca, because Fashion Blanca is also really interesting to talk about here. But
I mean, I
again,
absolutely love Fashion Blanca.
because he's attacking the back line as well
Oh,
as a legendary,
yeah. And I guess it's kind of a goofy release method, right? But because it's a new game, it was just, what is it? You played 30 days, you got a legendary. It's the first time. I doubt that's how easy we're going to get legendaries in the future. But just to get him this time, and now that he's unlocked, and you just link him to your other fighters, and he's a top, he's a top dog on anyone's team. Because of that, he just destroys. Oh my
It's
gosh,
like a
he's
breath of
insane.
fresh air after all of this awakening process that we're doing for all of these fighters to get that single copy of Fashion Blanca and immediately
And then you
slot
can
him into
just
our
use them.
lineups.
Yeah.
It was really fun for me because I was building a team that I was using, and I was also building Fei Long and not using him. And then all of a sudden I got Fashion Blanca, and I'm like, oh, well, I guess I have a use for Fei Long. And I attached
Mm-hmm.
Fashion Blanca to Fei Long, and I didn't have to worry about that anymore.
Now, I want to talk about Akuma's release a little bit, just because I want to get your guys' thoughts on when we will start seeing these rare characters, you know, become not so rare.
Mm,
At what point do we see them just kind of go into, it's going to, eventually it has to, right? They're going to be newer characters come along, and usually these will just, you know, we'll probably get the unlocks from just draws, right? Normal draws. Eventually, they get thrown into the mix or some other way. Maybe you buy them in the store eventually. When will we start seeing that? Because we still, right? We haven't seen anything with Gore Ken, and we don't really know if we will. That could just be a special game type that we got him that one time. But I have no idea how that's gonna work. This being such a new game, I'm drawing off most of what I get from other games like this. Usually, I start to see them in like a month or two. These kind of rare characters or new characters, if you will, become free to play after a little while, right? At first, you usually have to pay to get them to a high level. Then 2 months, I'd say, a month, maybe we can see them. But I don't know about this. We haven't seen anything with Gorken or Fashion Sakura or some of the newer ones. What do you think?
There's a couple ways that this could go. Either this is a recurring event where we will occasionally get that more Gore Magala dragon event, where once again we will get the chance to get a few more copies of Gore Magala Ken, and it's just something that happens once every few months, or who knows. So it could be something like that. It could be the kind of thing where they end up leaking into divination. But it seems like this special summons thing is where these exclusive fighters are going to come from. It basically seems to me like an extreme version of divination.
Okay.
It would be like the next tier of difficulty to obtain.
So you think you're going to select, like, in this special summon, right? Or a special, what is it? It is special summon, right? Special summon. Yeah, so you think you're going to select when they come out with more of these exclusive fighters, do you like select the one you want to go for each time? And you get these special summon tickets or something different?
Yeah. My guess would be that like once this Akuma event ends, the special summon thing will stay there, and we'll start to get Gore Magala Ken available in the wish list.
Gotcha.
So we can choose between them. And then from there, obviously, we'll hopefully start getting more exclusive fighters, and then they'll be that way. And there will be either these events or some other very slow in-game accrual of these special summons tickets.
Obviously we have no idea,
Yeah.
right? However, that is very logical, and I think that Falcon has it nailed right there. If I were to push my chips in to any pot, it would be that pot, where we have these special summons, which is just like another version of divination. And to get these tickets needed to do these summons, you have to participate in events that will come out. Maybe we won't see Gore Magala Ken's dragon event for another 3 months. And then maybe in a month after that, we'll just cycle back. So it'll go Gore Ken's event, and then some time off, and then Akuma's event, and then some time off, and then the next fighter's event that we don't know about because they have to keep the hype up for the game. And then from those events, you get the tickets. The tickets are used in the thing for that fighter. So like these will be like tickets for Akuma, and you have to use those for Akuma. And then you can get tickets for Gore Ken, and then you can use those for Gore Ken. That to me that makes the most sense.
Yeah,
that
makes
if I had
sense.
to push my chips in. And then like legendary characters. Okay, so we have two. Fashion Blanca and Fashion Sakura. Fashion Sakura was a pay to win or pay to play. It's like straight up.
Yeah, it was impossible to obtain her without money.
Correct.
Sure.
Fashion Blanca was like the FTP legendary, right?
Yep.
So I would imagine as they release more legendary characters, they'll have like two branches of it, like a complete pay to win branch and a complete free to play branch as far as the legendary characters. And using this as a little bit of a segue, I did want to talk about how all of y'all felt about seeing that in-game Chinese photo that showed Akuma being a flame faction fighter. Did you all see that?
I did see that, and so
Okay. And when I thought all along that Akuma was going to be master, simply because when you play against Akuma in the Shadowloo City, he was a class fighter.
right.
So I was like, oh, so he's going to be master class. Why would they have him not master class? Yet a lot of people were doing flame because do we think that picture was doctored? Should we, as Street Fighter Duel characters, be very skeptical about anything happening with regard to foreign game server pictures and that kind of stuff? Like,
It was probably just an earlier model or of the artwork. So
Yeah,
the
it could be
earlier
that.
version of the artwork, where they were still workshopping the character, they hadn't been finalized yet, but that artwork leaked, and that's where we got the Flame faction from. Well, you said it
mm,
was in game. Maybe this flew under my radar. I just assumed he was going to be either Infernal or Master the whole way through. I did hear you guys chatting about it in Discord, I guess,
Yeah, I
but
mean,
yeah.
it looked like an in-game shot, right? It could have been someone's
Well,
joke.
well, I mean, the only thing that signified that they were flame was the little circle with a like a Mandarin emblem in there, and uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. To me, it was a little skeptical. Anybody can edit out a circle, right? and
Yeah,
it might
I
for
was
shock value.
yeah, I bought into it. I thought it was going to be Flame. It's fun to see that it was Master Class, so it can be
Well,
anything.
and
But
we needed another flame. Okuma
we
needed
still
to be
do.
flame
Yeah.
damage. Like, let's be serious here. Flame needed something else going on. I
sure,
just thought, like, Sea Viper is just a weaker Akuma, and Sea Viper is very obtainable. Like,
yeah, you can play her.
why am I paying thousands of dollars, which I didn't and won't, for Akuma when I can have a marginalized version for free?
Yeah,
I mean,
and for most people that works, right? If you
certainly.
are competing at the top levels, Sea Viper's not going to cut it versus Akuma, right?
No.
If the people that are paying thousands, like you, there's a reason for it if that's what you want to do with your money, right? Like if you want to be the top, he is going to be he is way better than Sea Viper. He could just damage wise, it's incredible, but it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you to get him.
And so how, as far as I know, there's only one way to get more of these tickets right now, and you can only buy 3 of them a day. So you can get 3 singular tickets a day, because the event starts tonight at reset, correct? Like, um, this is day 1 release, so
Uh,
but the event starts tonight because he
yeah.
was released a day early to give people time to get him for the event, I
Mm-hmm.
imagine. Which was different than the Gore Ken, because
Yeah,
Gore
it was a
Ken
different
came
stuff.
out. Yeah, Gore Ken came out as a usable character trial for 3 days.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
was interesting. That was a different way to
That
do
would have
that.
been fun. It would have been nice to get at least a little trial period. Maybe we still will, because he was released early, so we might still get a trial period with him.
Right, because the event, like I was saying, the event hasn't started yet.
Yeah.
So,
And I'm interested to
like,
see what the event will be. I've liked their events so far. Been having a good
hmm
time with them. So,
I
they've
think
been
it's gonna be
hyping the
sweet.
Akuma event. I think it'll be fun. I'm stoked to play it. It starts tomorrow, right?
I
I think
well,
so. Either that or
Or
Friday.
tonight? All right.
where I'm in Eastern time zone, so in four f- four 4 hours and 45 minutes, the event will start.
Well, we should get to know Akuma a little bit better through this event. I'm assuming. So we'll have to make another video
Yeah,
explaining the
follow up.
event, right? For now, let's just give our last thoughts on Akuma. I mean, he's an awesome damage dealer, and I'm pretty stoked to be able to build him in the future. He's going to be my go-to assassin once I can get him there. What do you guys think? Doing the same?
I mean, there's no question that if you have the opportunity to build him, build him. Oh my goodness, he's going to be an absolute powerhouse. There's no question about it. Um, but don't sweat it that you don't have a bunch of copies of them right away. It's gonna be a grind. That's what we do here. It's gonna be a grind to build them up. So just hang in there.
Yeah, I have to echo. He is so strong. Like,
He's so
oh,
strong.
it's dangerous how strong he is. However, I would not advise you spending your hard-earned dollars on Akuma. I just don't see it. With characters like Sea Viper in there that you can use and get the same mechanic. With quite a bit less DPS, but hey,
Yeah.
like, and I don't think the pay to win is even there. Like, it's not
No.
even a good system.
No,
We'll see
it's a
when the
lottery
event comes
ticket.
out.
Yeah.
Maybe
And they
maybe
might
you
release them
can.
soon where it's you just get shards for dollars, right? And then it's not so
Well,
bad, but
I did want to say this in the video, and you touched on it earlier, JB, and I know we're wrapping up here, but um, Akuma coming out so close to the actual advent of the game, like, when did this game come out? A month and a half ago,
mm,
like, right?
yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
there are many other characters to come. He might get overshadowed. Like, don't spend your money on him yet.
Yeah.
There are
Oh, he
too
will
many
be
unknowns.
overshadowed. He
He's
will.
going to be.
Yeah.
He will. Yeah, right. So, like, maybe he is the god tier assassin character for the next 3 years.
Oh,
Okay.
not even that long. 3 months. That's usually right.
Well, in 3 months they might release a character that's not an assassin
Oh
character. That's
yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
But right,
You're
so,
right.
like,
You're right.
New role,
maybe
but
maybe
yeah.
going forward he's the god tier assassin, and
Sure.
then the next god tier they release will be, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm interested to find out though. So
Hmm.
Well, we still have some OG characters like Vega and Sagat that
there's
have to hit the floor.
there's a
I
lot
love
to
seeing
come
how
still.
many there's
Where's my Balrog?
There's a lot to come still. That is right. All right, gentlemen. It was a pleasure talking to you as always. And thanks for joining
Great
us.
time, as always. Thanks for having us.
Grind on.
Thanks, JB. Bye.
See ya.